Carmelo Anthony. For Joel, it is his third foul, and Carmelo to the free throw line. Fan Night lets you choose which matchup will air live every Tuesday on NBA TV. Go to NBA.com/Fan Night to vote for the game that you want to see. 9-point men for the Knicks. Stoudemire has 11. Anthony has 10 for Miami. 12 points for Wade. 10 for James.
Wondering if Mike D'Antoni, especially the way Novak was shooting the basketball in that first half, 3 of 3 from threes, 9 points. Maybe we'll see him early on in this third period.
Lead pass from Wade. Bosch. Another nice move by Chris Bosch. He has 10 points.
Twice Tyson Chandler has not read the scouting report. He's left-handed, Bosch. You can't allow him to go left.
Wade with the steal. So Miami back up to a 6-point lead.
That's the Heat's 12th steal this game.
Chandler rejected by Joel Anthony. Wade, yes. Once again, an early timeout taken by Mike D'Antoni. Just 2.5 gone by in the third.
And it's all been the Heat defense. The block here again by Anthony leads to the fast break. And it's almost like Dwayne Wade is coming up, settling down, knocking down the jumper.
Starts 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Bizarre Mike Fratello working with Maurice Cheeks for Charles Barkley's team. Bizarre spending hours on out-of-bounds plays, pick and rolls. He has handed out 60-page notebooks to each of the players.
You're scaring these young players that are listening to you say that. They're going to go there for a fun exhibition game.
Carmelo Anthony with a beautiful adjustment.
Anthony struggled in that through those first 2 periods. Now has 13 points on 4 of 11 shooting.
59-53, Miami. They've led most of the way, led by as many as 8 just a moment ago. Wade, hacked, and he'll head to the line. Foul on the act by Fields. This is a Miami team that is 26-7. Their best 33-game start in the history of the franchise. They've won 7 straight, and all 7 by double figures. They've won 10 of the last 11. They have a record of 14-2 here at home. They've won their last 8 at home. And they're tied with Oklahoma City for the best record in the NBA.
And offensively, I think this is the best we've ever seen the Heat play. And we were asking Eric Spoelstra that. That's exactly what he had envisioned. More up-tempo. You've got 2 great finishers on the wing in LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. Chris Bosh with that mid-range game, and Mario Chalmers coming on offensively, shooting the ball from distance.
Pass from Lynn broken up and recovered by Stoudemire, preventing another turnover. Carmelo. James with the rebound. Wade with 18. He scored the last 6 for the Heat. Wade. Anthony keeps it alive for Miami, and then Lynn nearly picked it off. Was close to a backcourt violation. Oh, look at that ball whipped around. It ends up in the hands of Chris Bosh.
Well, what did Eric Spoelstra tell us about this? Been a lot of trust. A long year last year. The scrutiny was on this team, the Miami Heat. Now they trust one another more, and that's why you see more ball movement.
The ball is called on the backdoor attempt. Well, this is a Miami team with 3 All-Stars, 2 MVP candidates, and following all the hysteria of a year ago, at the moment, they are kind of under the radar, playing superb basketball. Lynn is fouled.
Well, if there's one team that's somewhat happy because of the Jeremy Lin story, it might be the Miami Heat. There's less scrutiny. There's less media coverage for the Miami Heat, and they're just going out and playing basketball. They're tied with the best record in the league with the Oklahoma City Thunder, so they can just go out and play basketball. But make no mistake, they want to make this a statement towards the Knicks.
So team president Pat Riley. Norris Cole has come on for Mario Chalmers, just picked up a 4th foul. Carmelo Anthony with 15 points. Miami with an 8-point lead. But the start of this season, LeBron James said, you know, it's a different feeling coming into this year. Open shot for Bosh. And you get the idea that he wished he could have gotten a do-over on how he handled the departure. Actually, he admitted when he left Cleveland, of course, the decision show, taking his talents to South Beach, on and on. It's certainly a different scenario this year. Lynn in traffic draws the foul.
You know, what I like about Jeremy Lin is his ability when he does take the contact once he gets into the paint, he's still able to get the ball and almost get and ones. There's a lot of comparisons between Steve Nash and himself. See, Steve Nash wouldn't be able to take that kind of contact and beating and still be able to get those and ones and finish. Steve Nash is a better ball handler and distributor once he gets into the paint, but Lin's a better finisher once he gets into the paint.
Foul on Wade is 3rd. You know, Reggie, it's been a prosperous year for athletes who attended Harvard. Jeremy Lin, preceded by Ryan Fitzpatrick, the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, got up to a sparkling start, leading to a new lucrative contract, and then Bills cooled off. But Ryan certainly has a promising upside down the road, and he talks about being doubted as Bosh was fouled by Stoudemire. He felt in his earlier years when he was a backup quarterback, he may not have been taken seriously because he was a, quote, Harvard guy playing in the Ivy League where the level of competition is not the same as it is in other conferences.
Well, I guarantee you now there's a lot of scouts that are going to the Ivy League and looking at players and looking at stats. And again, I just feel, not to sugarcoat anything, Jeremy Lin slipped through the cracks because there's no way that this guy would be undrafted. He's, because of the age of scouting and videotape, he is too good. Now, can he sustain that? That's the next question. I want to see him sustain this, but he certainly slipped through the cracks.
Well, he's entitled certainly to an off game, but when you look at who he's going up against, and when you look at the fact that he was the target of the Miami Heat right from the start with traps, with Chalmers chest to chest. Very, very tough doing it under these conditions. But it's been a small sample. It's really hard to get a true feel, but a very impressive sampling.
Unlike what Kenny Smith said at halftime, too, that really Amari Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony, this really should have been their game. Because Jeremy Lin is not used to this type of stage, and those guys are.
Here's Wade, rebounded by Stoudemire. 6.5 remaining, 3rd quarter. Miami up by 9. Anthony over Wade, one-handed by Bosh. And you mentioned the extensive scouting that goes on these days. The early days of the NBA, you go back to the 50s and the 60s, teams were drafting out of Street and Smith's college basketball.
Absolutely.
I mean, they didn't even see players sometimes. But here comes Lin down the lane. And a foul called. It's a block. Miami was looking for a charge for an offensive foul, but they do not get the call.
I'm not quite sure LeBron James could have been even more statuette right there, but he didn't. He wasn't all the way in. You see the difference between the charges we had earlier and taking it into the chest? He was kind of leaning to his right a little bit. That's a good call there by the official, Dan Crawford.
Foul on LeBron James. Coming up next, the Lakers and the Thunder from Oklahoma City. Dick Stockton, Chris Webber will have the call, followed by Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai, live from Orlando. And tomorrow, as we mentioned, the BBVA Rising Stars Challenge coverage starting 9 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on TNT.
Jeremy Lin, 23 minutes, 1 of 6 from the field, 5 of 5 from the line with 7 points, only 3 assists through 3 quarters.
Heat lead is now 7. Wade played by J.R. Smith. Smith getting help with Chandler coming over. Here's Wade. It counts, and the foul.
Dwayne Wade, one of the better, along with probably Kobe Bryant, the better posting up shooting guards in this league. Just does a good job of putting J.R. Smith on his hip. A couple dribbles, get into the paint because of his size and strength. Able to shoot over most defenders.
7-time All-Star, starter 6 times, the NBA Finals Most Valuable Player 2006, All-Star Game MVP. Jeffries back on the floor, coming on for Amari Stoudemire. Shot clock to 7. Smith for 3. J.R. Swish, as he likes to call himself.
You know, looking at this pick and roll situation, especially with Tyson Chandler at that 5 position when they're coming off him, Jeremy Lin is very reluctant to throw him the basketball at that free throw line area because he can't score and he's not a very good passer in that situation. You put Amari at the 5 position, it's a better result if he's coming off that pick and roll situation.
For the latest NBA
Tonight, what's going on?
I have forgiven him.
You have forgiven him?
I have forgiven him.
Very kind.
And most New Yorkers, even though I don't get that same love when I'm walking the streets of New York.
Here is Wade. The tip missed by Bosch and a loose ball foul, says Dan Crawford, is against the Knicks. Now, you told me that at one point, and even when you were broadcasting games, if we do a game in New York, you would just stay in your hotel room.
Yes, it's still hard to walk the
so
streets.
Sad.
It is, it is. It's still hard to walk the streets of New York. But I love those rivalry days very much the same way this was a rivalry back when I played New York and Miami and my Pacers and the Knicks.
Good job by Joel Anthony, keeping it alive. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. J.R. Smith on Chris Bosh, and Bosh took advantage.
He recognized he had the smaller defender trying to chest and body him. Just turn around and shoot over him. He can't block the shot.
Strong game for Bosh. 17 points, 9 have come here in the 3rd. They double up on Lynn. Pass for Jeffries. Unable to handle it.
And even though that turnover will probably go to Jared Jeffries, that's Jeremy Lin putting him in a bad position.
8-point Miami lead. Heat coming off a win here on Tuesday against Sacramento to make it 7 straight. 10 of their last 11. Bosh. Lynn is on it. Lynn now played by the rookie Norris Cole with help. Smith straight away for 3.
Now a lot of settling for long outside shots. Where's the ball movement, the pick and roll situation which we saw in that 1st quarter.
Oh, nice move by James, and he's hit by Chandler. 3rd on Tyson Chandler. Miami and the Knicks are both over foul limit. Check that, it's Carmelo Anthony called for the foul.
Here's a good move here by Mike D'Antoni, bringing in Steve Novak. I thought he was very effective in that 1st half, spacing the floor, knocking down those 3 trays. They need some life out here, some spacing to allow Jeremy Lin to get into the defense and to kick it out. Now you're with that small unit with Carmelo Anthony playing the 4 position. Jared Jeffries moves over to that center position. Now you can run a little bit